The night along Route 66 was unusually quiet, the kind of silence that makes even the hum of the car feel too loud. Emily Hart, a hard-working single mom from Flagstaff, was driving back home after visiting her sister in Williams. Her two kids, Mia and Lucas, had fallen asleep in the backseat. Emily kept her eyes on the winding road, lit only by the pale glow of the moon and her headlights cutting through the darkness. Just a few miles past Seligman, Emily noticed something odd on the shoulder of the road, something large, unmoving. At first she thought it might be a deer, but as she slowed down and pulled her car to the side, her heart jumped. It wasn't an animal, it was a man, a biker. His motorcycle lay twisted nearby, its chrome glinting faintly in the dark. Emily felt a cold shiver run down her spine as she approached. The man was breathing, barely. His clothes were torn, blood streaked across his arms and face, and his leather vest carried a patch she recognized instantly even though she'd only ever seen it in movies and documentaries. Hell's Angels. For a brief moment, fear froze her. She had heard all kinds of rumors about biker gangs, stories filled with violence, lawlessness, and danger. Standing alone in the dark with her children in the car, every instinct told her to drive away fast. But Emily wasn't the kind of person who ignored someone in need. Her father had been a firefighter, and he raised her with one firm rule: you never leave a soul on the road. She knelt beside the injured biker. "Sir, can you hear me?" He groaned faintly but didn't open his eyes. Emily hesitated only a moment before running back to her car, lowering the backseat, and gently dragging the man inside. It took all her strength. He was heavy, muscular, and clearly in agony. She buckled him in as best she could, then sped back onto the highway, heading for the nearest hospital. Mia woke up halfway there and gasped when she saw the blood-covered man beside her. "Mom, who is he?" "Someone who needs our help," Emily said firmly. "That's all we need to know right now." When they arrived at Flagstaff Medical Center, nurses rushed out with a stretcher. Emily explained everything she saw: the crash, his condition, how she found him alone in the dark. Doctors took him into emergency surgery immediately. One of them came back to Emily an hour later, shaking his head in disbelief. "You saved his life," he told her. "Another 5 minutes and he would have bled out." Emily exhaled shakily, realizing just how close the man had come to dying. It wasn't until later, when a police officer arrived, that she learned the shocking truth. The man she had saved wasn't just any biker. He was the leader of the Arizona Hells Angels chapter, and whatever had happened to him on Route 66 was no accident. Emily didn't think much about the injured biker after that night. She assumed the hospital and the police would handle the rest. Her only concern was getting her children home safely and trying to forget the image of the blood-soaked man in her backseat. But fate wasn't done with her yet. 2 days later, just as Emily was finishing breakfast dishes, she heard a deep rumble, multiple engines, growing louder and louder outside her small Flagstaff home. The windows vibrated. Lucas peeked through the blinds and gasped. "Mom, motorcycles. A lot of them." Emily's heartbeat quickened. She stepped onto her porch, and froze. At least 10 Harley-Davidson motorcycles lined the street. The riders wore black leather vests, heavy boots, and intimidating expressions. Every vest carried the same symbol she'd seen on the injured man's jacket. Hell's Angels. Before she could react, one of them stepped forward. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with scars that looked like they had stories of their own. But his eyes were calm, steady. "Ma'am," he said, voice gravelly but respectful, "we ain't here for trouble." Another biker stepped aside, and between them walked the man she had saved on Route 66. He was bandaged, moving slowly and leaning on a cane, but alive. Very much alive. He stopped in front of Emily and gave a nod that carried surprising softness. "You pulled me off the highway," he said. "Doctors told me what you did. My brothers told me who you are." Emily's throat tightened. I didn't do anything special. You needed help." The man let out a short breath, almost a laugh. "Ma'am, people drive past dogs on the road. You stopped for me, for us. That matters." The other bikers nodded silently behind him. He extended his hand. "Name's Ryder Grant, president of the Arizona chapter. And from today forward, your family is under our protection." Emily blinked, stunned. "Wait, why? You don't owe me anything." Ryder shook his head. "That's where you're wrong. You saved a brother. That means something in our world, something big. Emily didn't know what to say. Her kids watched from the doorway, half hiding, half curious. Ryder continued, "Word's gotten out about a local thug causing trouble for your boy. We heard he's been hanging around the school, giving him a hard time." Emily stiffened. She hadn't told anyone, not even the police, about the man who had been harassing Lucas for weeks. How do you know that?" Ryder smirked. "We've got ways, and we don't let punks scare kids who belong to someone we owe." That afternoon, the same thug showed up near Lucas's school like he always did, only this time, he found two Hells Angels leaning against their bikes, arms crossed, staring him down with expressions that promised consequences. The thug never came back. Over the next weeks, the presence of the bikers became part of the neighborhood's rhythm. Emily would find groceries left on her porch, her car tuned up without her asking, and one or two Harleys casually parked near her house, not intimidating, just watching over her family. People talked. Some whispered in fear, others in awe. But Emily knew the truth. She hadn't just saved a biker. She had gained a family of protectors, fierce, loyal, and unshakably grateful. And the Hells Angels kept their vow.